that's marketing and advertising campaigns. And the first time you go to your subreddit, this is key. Make sure you filter by top and all time. So you see the best posts, best visuals, which I'm uploading this case by over 450,000 members of this subreddit. Like basically a pre-vetted visual anchor. If you want to make a video about marketing and packaging, and it's so cool to see that it starts giving more ideas for a longer video. And here's where things really start rolling. You can literally go back to that same subreddit every week or every month. Just change all time to weekly, and you see all the best visuals showing up over time. Like the hilarious ad from City of LA trying to hire a designer that's been uploaded in the past week. And then think about it like this. If you find a lot of visual anchors using this process, then you have enough to start scripting a long-form YouTube video. If you only find a few visual anchors, you're actually probably better off with a short TikTok reel. And if you find none, then probably might be better off with text. So we'll talk about the best way to script and weave all these videos together coming up. And bonus tip, you don't have to just use Reddit. You can look at Instagram communities, Facebook groups, anything that has a bunch of people posting about your niche and uploading and getting the best at the top, so you know you're looking at something that's already of interest. I just find that Reddit is where a lot of things break first. I remember I worked at Instagram, I was trying to get people at BuzzFeed during their heyday about how they find their viral ideas, and they were literally telling me something I never forget. When something gets posted on Reddit on Monday, it ends up on BuzzFeed on Tuesday, then it gets picked up on social media on Wednesday, and then it shows up on Facebook next month. Their words, not mine, but it's true. So research visual anchors on Reddit. The next tip is to make your intros ring. On YouTube, great videos are killed by boring intros all the time. So remember to make it ring RAINY. Hear me out. This means your intro has to check the following 5 boxes, or at least as many of them as possible. And I'll show you how I did it with a few examples of intros that got 74% retention and 60% retention. So R stands for result. Up front, your video, you guys use the result the viewer will get if they watch your video. Like, where is it going? What are you going to deliver value? But at least pose a question in your video, we'll answer, highlight mistakes, and make sure it keeps them curiosity to watch. And again, I'll show you a few examples of how to do that for both unscripted and scripted videos you're on. A stands for address the objection. Call out the elephant in the room before your viewers even think about it. Listen, viewers today are sharper than ever before because they want options than ever before. And that means their detectors are on high alert. Like, you can say are the result of your video in your intro, but they're already calling yes in their mind, whether it's subconscious or conscious, and you need to address it. I stands for instant. For long form, your intro should be around 45 seconds or less. Don't worry, we'll talk about that for short form. N stands for why now. Like, why is your YouTube video relevant right now? Is there a trend, change, or something in the news that makes your video more timely? And Y stands for why you. Like, why are you the person to deliver this message? And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you have to change who you are for a YouTube intro. That just means you have to highlight the right part about your background. So here's 2 examples of how you do that. One for unscripted, which are videos like vlogs, on street interviews, and another for scripted, like talking heads, video essays. So you can apply to any video you're making. I know there's a lot of different creators out there. So let's start off with an intro for an unscripted video where you don't control what happens. You can't control what's said after you press record. And here's an example of my interview with a live coach that's nearing 1.9 million views. And the intro has 74% retention. So let's play it and I'll break down how we structure. Maybe a lot of comments in your videos, Liza and Liza. Okay, hello, we'll talk about that. Why is the coaching quit YouTube? These creators on the platform disappears.
Although it's like my peak in terms of numbers, in terms of eyes and partnerships.
The fastest growing YouTuber ever.
I just me, and I think
Who's ignoring Liza coach?
you know,
So how do we make this intro ring? Well, we started every single moment from hour-long interview and here's for the R, the result, by the way, we're showing you that if you watch, you'll find out why Liza coach, one of the biggest YouTubers ever, left the platform at her height of over 15 million subscribers. And that's what I titled the video as well, which is another way to communicate the result. And immediately after your objection is the next line you put in the intro. Because most people just there's no way that Liza coach actually talks why she left YouTube. She doesn't have found it, she made a joke about it, and during the actual interview, we literally on this by people. The I is instant against the entire intro last 44 seconds, which is well below the 45 second threshold. The why now, the end, well, this video came out during a time when Liza had left YouTube at her height, but she never really talked about it in full sit-down interview until now. And why you? Well, I made sure to include lines and questions from myself. I pushed back and I challenged her in this intro. Like, who is ignoring? So the viewer knows, oh crap, it's not going to take a while. This interviewer is going to ask what's on our mind. And you have to remember that making an intro for an unscripted video does not mean you have to be unstructured about it. In fact, how you structure the moments and sound bites according to the ring framework can make all the difference. Now, next up, here's an intro for a scripted video, which typically means a talking head video like this one, which is another popular format on YouTube. And the intro that we're about to watch is from a video that I made a few years ago called X YouTube Employee Explains How to Run YouTube. But let's watch the intro and we'll break it down because I have to use a lot of the same tactics in this video. The rules of how to run a YouTube channel have completely changed this year. I don't know, I used to work at YouTube for 5 years, then worked at Instagram for 3 years, then I started this channel. And I want to share 7 unconventional tips that led me to get millions of views per day. And it's not obvious stuff that everyone's talking about. It's not how we do that before. The R is simple. It's tips to grow on YouTube. That's what you get if you watch. The A that I address, the objection, is that most viewers will watch videos like, oh, these are the same old tips I've heard before. You authentic or consistent. I'm like, no, it's not a single tip. And I have to over-deliver on that, obviously. But again, addressing the objection. I is instant. This intro is about 40 seconds long. The why now, this video came out during a time when short is still new. It changed how creators approach the channel, so I wanted to lean into that moment. And the why you? Well, simply I work at YouTube and I've been on Insight. I want to manage the features they use today. And honestly, I know sometimes I'm not too much, but make a mistake about it. You don't need to be associated with brand or have professional experience to make a video about that topic. So here's the bonus tip. You can use the guinea pig method where you put yourself in experience and answer that why you question. And here's 2 examples from 2 amazing creators, Sherman shared and Sam. Like, Sherman is not a foot doctor. So how do you answer that why you question? Well, he only wore barefoot shoes for 1,000 days and emphasized that in the intro and title, which makes viewers way more intrigued with your perspective versus many other shoe review videos out there. And for Sam, well, what's actually crazy about this one is that I gave a talk about this video to Taco Bell, and Sam isn't a nutritionist or anything, but him, he only talked about 30 days to see if it's the healthiest fast food in his intro all morning. Now, of course, that's an extreme example, and I would recommend it for obvious health reasons. The point here is this: think about how you can make the why you part of your intro and video stronger, since that often takes the most. Or again, the free YouTube hack that I mentioned includes a lot more intro templates and examples like the contrarian hook, the shock value hook, the challenge hook, and more, so you can put this all into practice immediately. Alright, moving to the next tip. Follow the 5 C's. You already know how important thumbnails are. You can click in your videos. I made this checklist. I'll show you in a moment. Start by an interview with one of the best ever do it. Okay, so thumbnails have 2 things. They have to look really small, and then they have to obviously get you intrigued and maybe get the video started actually getting the video started. So we're going to talk about 2 things when it comes to thumbnails, but I actually think there are 5. I call it 5 C's: composition, context, clean, curiosity, and color. The first C is composition. Meaning, does the framing, the angles, or the leading lines draw you in? The first thumbnail here is so captivating because it comes from the point of view of a person holding onto the chair for your left, and the leading lines on corridor. I mean, this is a masterpiece thumbnail. The second one comes from idea of photo. It's so well composed, the camera being positioned with its head, the pine bottles all around, like you can tell they took time to frame and compose the shot properly. The second C is context. So too many creators design the thumbnails that in context where they show up. They design it on giant screens, so it may look good on desktop, but like Marquez says, it has to look good when small. So here's a rule I like to use. If you see it on your thumbnail 18%, can you still read it? If not, you gotta simplify it. And you see these examples, you can clearly see the headphones, the ball, the text, the slider still pops even when small. The next C is clean. Too many thumbnails are a cluttered mess. The rules remember this: your thumbnail has 3 elements or less. Like this first one has a head, the text, the phone. The second one, how Blanchard has its head, the text, the grenade. It's simple and clean. The next C is curiosity. Meaning, does your thumbnail pose a question that viewers immediately want to answer? And this can be done with blurring or blacking out an element like Unboxed did, or contradicting something that you've seen this fake model thumbnail that's active. And again, this one has 3 colors into. Look at those leading lines, just draw your eye in. So the more C's you check off the list, the better. And the last C is the most powerful, and that's color. Meaning, do you pair colors in a way that draws the eye? For that, you want to refer to the color wheel. Pair primary colors with a combination. Like Ryan Fran's hair and shirt in this thumbnail are yellow gold, so it's not an accident that he made the shirt around in purple. Or Michelle Khare pairing the primary color with blue, or blazer and glove with orange jumpsuit, and the orange is brown background. Right. And you know it's really wild. I was playing around with the new ChatGPT 4.0, and you can literally take these thumbnails or any thumbnail that adheres to 5 C's and then take a selfie of yourself, and then put a prompt that's like, please replace the person in this thumbnail with me and keep their wardrobe and facial expression the same. And then like, this is crazy. You'll get these thumbnails. I'm not recommending you do this at all. I'm going to show you how powerful these tools are becoming, especially with the 5 C's. Obviously, there's a lot of ethical questions, and there's a lot of things to unpack and discuss here, but the point is that even you could like put in a sketch like this now and get a great thumbnail back in no time. And just understand these 5 C's is a game changer. And I've created about 90 more examples of great thumbnails in YouTube hack that I don't keep bringing that up, but I really put some of this in practice. The bottom line is you don't need all the 5 C's with your thumbnail, the more the better. The next tip is test macro and micro. So YouTube recently launched a thumbnail testing tool. There's a really clever way to use it that few creators have found. So quick back, this thumbnail testing tool is a relatively new feature where you can upload 3 thumbnail variations, and here's an example of a nice interview. And basically YouTube shows those 3 variations to different segments of viewers. And after a few days, it selects a winning thumbnail based on which one drives the most watch time your video. And no surprise, Mr. Beast is using this tool in a really creative way that few others are. During our interview, he broke down his step-by-step process on his protected video. Step 1 is he uploaded 3 thumbnails with macro, big changes like the angle of the shot, his face, the different items, the gun, the clothing on. Step 2, he let YouTube select the best performing thumbnail for 3 days. Simple. Step 3, he then made micro changes to the winning thumbnail, like a different shirt or a person on a boat, like very small. And step 4, he typically will continue to make micro changes until the test results aren't that different. Ryan Trahan did the same with this video. I tested one for ourselves. Like first, he had macro variations, text, shirt, composition, and after you selected the best performing one, he made micro changes just to the text. Everything else stayed the same. A lot of times these creators will run tests like this for months, but I know not everyone has a team with time to do that. So just try to run at least 2 thumbnail tests to squeeze as much juice out of your video. First macro changes, then micro, continue until you see a clear winner, and move on to the next video. The next tip is fix your first frame. So most of what we covered till now is the long form video, but the tip is specifically for short, because your first frame in your short is as important as your thumbnail, intro, and your long form. And what I mean by your first frame is literally what you see at 0 seconds of your short. Your TikTok, your reel, all applies. And the key is making sure you set up expectation and attention with what is about to happen. For example, I have a short form series with over 250 million views where I ask people on the street, who's more famous, creators or celebrities? Who are these 2 people?
Is that Logan Paul and
I don't know.
Compliment.
That's my way. We fight, and that's my man to be acting.
And my first frame for these videos is really validating where I have this physical printout with faces of creators, celebrities, so you immediately get. But honestly, it did not start out like that. Like, it took lots of iteration. The first attempt was just terrible. I did this whole boring monologue where I said, "Hey guys, we're here in Hollywood asking people who's more famous creators or celebrities." First up, we have Ouroboros, Tom Hanks, like way too long. Then I had a shorter version of that question and prompt, and then I had an even shorter question where I said, "Who are these two people?" You saw the faces and we're off the races. Which brings me to a bonus tip. Whenever possible, use props like printouts to show it physically, not just digitally with graphics most creators do, with all the editing tools available today. Here's another example. Keegan has an amazing format where he makes videos based on a random product and a random genre by putting them in two bowls in a frame and putting no cards in them. Like, go get a card is Oreo and an action movie for the genre, and I'll make that into a short video. It's really good. But when he sets it up physically, it has everything in first frame is a great example. Here's another. For my short where we compare favorite products to Fortune 500 products, I try to make my first frame as visual as possible. The bottle, the blindfold, everything's right there physically. But if I'm being honest, I think Logan did it better with his first frame where he did a similar video. He showed everything more clearly, with even fewer wraps. He brought files on the frame, he put sugar on the table, and sugar counts, and he wrote out different note cards to show you things about theory versus crime. And you know, I actually had a chance to ask Casey Neistat about this because he draws things on his hand, he makes cutouts, printouts better than nearly anyone. And he said this is why he helps so much with retention.
I think that's really more interesting than sort of graphical text that you type into Premiere. Video editing is a highly specialized thing. Very few people know how to do it. For years, there was only a few video editors. And now, like, my 9-year-old teaches my wife how to edit videos.
And then really said this quote I'll never get.
Perfection races humanity. When something's truly perfect, there's no sign of human hand in it.
And this applies even more to shorts because people scroll so quickly and see so many graphics. So that means you fix your first frame, set the story immediately and physically, even if it's imperfect, it helps you stand out. And if you still have any doubt how powerful a great first frame is, like no it's so powerful it's deceiving. Just check out this hilarious clip.
No, it's actually amazing how incredible people seem to think you are when you're just pretending to be on a podcast. Like, you don't even have to do that much. It's just all you have to do is look inside the camera as opposed to looking into the camera. You're like, wow, it's gotta be really important to be on a podcast. Really by whatever something he's trying to
So
sell.
literally having a shirt like and when he off to the side his first frame makes it feel like he's on a podcast. When he's just looking at the wall, I'm not saying do this, but it's pretty nice little touch in the first frame to change the expectation of the short versus him just looking at the camera like this. Next tip is to adapt outliers. I'll level with you. The best time to start on YouTube was 2012, but now is the second best time to start. And that's not some raw season long type speed. It's not the you see, YouTubers might call it first mover advantage. They're early, they have less competition. When all of us have a second mover advantage. Since YouTube's over 20 years old now, you can see which video ideas or outliers have already taken off and adapted. And what are outliers? Well, here are a few examples. So basically videos that perform so above and beyond each channel's normal audience, they must be tapping into something more. Like something about the topic or format or packaging that you should study and adapt, which we'll talk about how to do in a moment. And the bigger the outlier, the more you take notice. In fact, I asked interviews how you find outliers like these to make videos that end up getting hundreds of millions of views. And here's what he said. I thought it was so interesting how you studied outliers. And we're gonna talk about that video, the dollar versus series. Yeah, talk about inspiration. I don't think people realize how you came to that. And then I got to follow. Yeah, 100%. So for $1 versus, the thing is, yeah, BuzzFeed did it, but also not BuzzFeed, but it's just like people across every format on YouTube, beauty channels, gaming channels, everyone was doing videos where they compare something cheap to something expensive. They usually did well. And what I like to do is if I see something going viral across like multiple formats all across YouTube, it's like okay, that seems to be something people really like, and they're really interested in that content. So maybe I should just do that like a really easy way on the channel. And sometimes creators like if you find one of these food creators out there, don't even bother with certain ideas if they're not outliers or haven't already performed well on other channels because it's a sign that you are not interested. It comes down to a deep dive on has it been done before and how to do it. I think that's all important to look at. Not to say you can't do a concept that has been done before and not make it better, but if you are interested in something, there's sometimes where it's just like this may not be worth it. Even looking at it in terms of other channels, genres. Yeah, it'd be really helpful to go and see, okay, 10 people are trying to make a video trying the best version of the world, and no one seems to be that interested in it. And so that may not be worth time. That's a good sort of first test to see has it been done. You can also do this with shorts. I was actually filming this one video which was inspired by Daniel Lavelle, and after film 11 to be sweet bags. But and it's crazy how much he tries to elevate things because he filmed his entire short when I was there, and he scrapped it because it didn't look good enough. And after filming again, different props. I even tried taking part in the video when the money was at and let's say, got a little embarrassing. Oh my god, it's so what? Here's where it got even more interesting. Jimmy saw that short did well on his channel, and then did it again. This time with bigger feasible work. Which I think the key one. In other words, you also study your own outliers and then double down. And actually, Patty Elliott told me how he does this with his creators like Jester to help him grow past 25 minutes. Right? It's just a question. What are the followers expect from videos? Like, man, could I make them again? So forth. Could I adopt a series out of this video? Jester, 3 days, 24 hours. Yeah. We can say video 4 times. Probably go 5, 6 times. Each time you just put it in twist. It's like 5 days. It's the regular games. It's 7 days, 4 days. The 3. It's you can go into like that. And now you're wondering, okay, John, how in the world do I find these outlier ideas? Well, there's actually a step-by-step process that I outline here. And I'll show you my fast way to do it in a few moments. But to find an outlier in your niche, all you have to do is this. Number 1, open up your YouTube app and search 3 or 4 words related to your niche. Then go to search filters and sort by view count, video, and anytime. This is key because essentially you're asking YouTube to turn off algorithm for just a moment to show you the videos that have the most views. Then scroll and click on these top videos and then click one more time to see the subscriber count of the channel that uploaded the video. And what you're looking for here are videos that have over 5 times more views than the subscriber count of the channel that uploaded. And if you make a list of these outliers and reference them, they'll help you so much when you brainstorm your ideas. Now, what if there was a way to find outliers even faster? What if you could automatically get ideas on how to adapt that outlier based on your niche? Well, that's exactly what you do with Stylized Studio, which is the sponsor of today's video. With Stylized Studio, you can go to Outliers tab and filter videos by outlier score. You can also look at 2x outlier tags, filter by long form, short form, and here's that part. You just press this brainstorm button and generate ideas customized to your channel. And go to this link, you'll get an extended free trial of Stylized Studio. And if you want to go above and beyond, we've got a good thing. 1, I'm hosting a free online workshop for anyone who signs up in the next 2 weeks. And on top of that, I'll be taking 9 of you when I go to fly to LA to come to the Lighthouse to spend a day getting mentored by me, Collins Muir, and April Lynn, and yes, we'll be posting your video. And if you already joined Stylized Studio, don't worry, you're already eligible. Just make sure to add 10 more ideas to your idea bank and hit the share with an extra button so I see it. And everything is after 2 weeks, don't worry about that. You'll still get extended free trial of Stylized Studio, which should help your channel a ton. Okay, moving on. The next tip is to copy with paste. So once you find these ideas and outliers, don't just copy and paste. Do what I like to call copy with paste. Here's a little spectrum I created. Remember, put your own spin on it, adapt from outside the niche, another other idea, we'll talk about how to do this in a second. But I thought Jimmy actually brought a great nuance about all this. If you watch someone's video, you can't tell the difference in their video. My video besides budget, it's like, yeah, you're copying and paste. But yeah, but like, me and Ryan might sometimes do similar videos. I'm not using copy, but like Ryan and I could, like, I'll go visit the Tower versus Ryan will go visit scary Airbnbs. It doesn't feel the same, right? That's the thing. Like Ryan has voice is quirky, and he's just like, let's see breathe more, blah blah. That's like Ryan's style, and our style is like a little bit quicker and show you cool things and more money and making it epic. And so yeah, that's not an easy style. But in general, that would be like doing it with paste. And then the copy and paste is yes, there are tons of people who have video. It's like literally sometimes it's the same hotels, same thing. Use my same text on screen, speak like act like they use my thoughts, use the same time pasting. It's like people like Ryan, they make their own style. We need more people like that. We less people that just look at Ryan, look at me, other videos, and just literally copy paste. Like if people want to watch myself, just watch my videos. We don't need someone else doing my videos, whatever. Like, and that's why when you adapt outliers with taste, you get an amazing string of ideas where Mr. Beast elevates a BuzzFeed concept as a hotel room instead of donuts. That takes up $1 million. And my friend has some spin on it, I only focus on cheap hotels. And then Giovanni does cheap restaurants instead of hotels, and cycle creativity continues on and on. In fact, there's a great quote from the late version of Aldo who said, you only have to make a 3% tweak to an existing concept for it to innovate. That's it, 3%. That's coming from one of the best designers of all time. And one of the best ways to make a 3% change or copy with taste is to look at different genres, eras, or mediums. So right hand, Nikki, Giovanni, and Mr. Beast, BuzzFeed, all the things is genre of a similar concept, donuts, hotels, cheap hotels, restaurants, which have to innovate. But besides looking outside your genre for inspiration, you also look back at different eras, just like Zach King did to go past 4 million subscribers. And I'm not talking about looking back at eras like early 2000s. I'm talking about further back. Zach told me that he and his team studied filmmakers like Buster Keaton in the 1920s, like literally 100 years ago. So few creators are looking that far back to come up with ideas today. Oh, I love Buster. And I noticed that he does so many jump cuts that are reminiscent of what you're doing today. Yeah, it's so good. This is so good. We share all these clips internally, really. Every once in a while. But I love Buster Keaton. I studied him. We did a video referencing Buster at the back of the car, and the car drives off on a tire. That's one of his guys. But we just add them out. It's like 10% better, 50% It's fun to reference those because for sure the young generation does not know what that is. And the third way to copy with taste is to change the medium. So by medium, I mean like film, TV, radio, YouTube. This is one of the more straightforward one, but it's also more competitive because a lot of people are already adapting medium and TV for YouTube. But it's still a lot of opportunity. Like, for example, Air Rapid is I track on Procrastinating a lot, which is basically a YouTube version of Big Brother, or the Sidemen's Tinder in real life is a faster paced YouTube version of MTV's Next dating show. Or honestly, I'll give credit what credit is due. My narrative videos were totally inspired by James Kimmel's team name Country Second, except I want to know if people name more celebrities or creators. Or another example of changing medium entirely is going from a shot in a TV show like Severance and adapting it to a still image for a thumbnail, just like Jimmy said during It's just interesting that you can draw inspiration from anywhere. Like this is one of my thumbnail guys trying to watch Severance, and one of the opening shots is that image in the thumbnail where this lady's laying on the table. It's a for a thumbnail. And I was like, what does that even mean? They said that Snapchat with a circle like you. And I was even more confused. The image was top right. I was like, Chucky, I don't know, maybe you're drinking video really doesn't. And somehow that led to this video doing right, which actually worked pretty well. It was kind of nice. Just usually my thumb on my face and the left side. And I've been looking for ways to not have everything look the exact same. And that was a great way that people see like it's not like you got that from a different YouTube thumbnail. Like this is watching Severance. So look outside your genre, across medium, or back at different eras for better inspiration. So the next tip is to find popular problems. Here's the thing: YouTube is the world's second largest search engine after Google, and estimated there are over 6 billion searches per day of people trying to watch videos, answer questions, to get advice, solve a problem, and so forth. So as a creator, especially if you're just starting out and growing, it'd be crazy not to find new content to meet that search demand. You see, just as entrepreneurs make products to solve problems, we as creators make content to solve problems. The question remains: how do you find the most popular problems in your niche to make content about? Well, there's 3 ways to do that. First is the incognito mode method. 2 is a core method, and 3 is a poll your audience. The incognito mode method, well, for that one you just have to go incognito mode in your browser and go to YouTube, start typing in video ideas or search queries, and let autocomplete tell you what most people are searching for. You see, by doing this in incognito mode, you're not letting your past searches change the autocomplete. You're seeing the autocomplete based on their searches. Second, you can go to Quora and figure out what are the most popular questions that people are asking in your niche. All you have to do is search your topic and filter by all time. And I love Quora because it's literally a place where people ask questions and it outputs tell you what the most amount of people need help answering. And if you make content about that, you're golden. Third, and perhaps most underrated, is poll your audience. You know, you use the whole feature on Instagram, use community, LinkedIn, and so forth to feed your audience like focus your brain. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know that I ask your thoughts on topics when I videos, or even thumbnails you like best. And I constantly go to our Discord community to see if there's a pattern of questions or problems that I can help with in my next video. Basically, the goal is to make content that falls in the middle of this Venn diagram, where what you know, what you're excited about, matches up with what people want to hear about. Whereas some creators don't ask their audience and just make content that feels totally out of touch. And the next tip to remember is that interested is interesting, right? I know we talk a lot about data, but sometimes you just gotta say screw the data, screw the algorithm, because the lesson here that he's back when YouTube's first viral videos, the double rainbow guy, which I never really considered until it was pointed out by Dan, makes with the creative genius behind the 11 behind my videos.
Interesting is interesting. I think it's like, so remember the first hit of the viral video? I'm pretty sure for me, the first hit of the viral video I saw was double rainbow.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Woo! Wow!
Yeah.
Everybody's seen double rainbow. That video went viral because of the man's reaction to double rainbow. He was enthusiastic about the rainbow. Like Casey's content, when he does, he's just so interested in it. That becomes interesting.
And if you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, that's why even Casey's video about public bathrooms or peckling violations kept going to views. And yeah, okay, now he has views following, but it all started by being so interested in something that became interesting to all of us. And I still believe in all the tactics and the data that we discussed so far, but the big caveat of all of this is this. You can barely continue excited about the idea and just make it a video. Trust me, the audience will feel it. Because at the end of the day, YouTube, this thing is about transferring energy that you feel in front of the camera to the person watching in front of their screen. I know, a little mushy, but I'm following. Alright, the next tip is avoid eye fatigue. This one drives me crazy. If some creators overedit their videos, you're gonna have any technical editing skills and tip. So much creators jam way too many visuals on screen that cause your eyes to dart all over the place and get fatigued, which will inevitably lead to you clicking off. Case in point, we have this working about 6,000 creators share videos, thumbnails, and ideas for feedback. I want to share a few seconds of a video from a creator who shared this. And I say this out of love, but just look at this frame alone. I'm sorry, I mean, my eyes have to be in 4 places at once. The top visual, the bottom visual, on monitor, on notebook. This just continues on and on. And countless creators do this without realizing their videos as well. In contrast, here's what we did during my doing this release. We're talking about 6 different versions of the thumbnail, a lot going on, but you literally zoomed in and do everything else out for the one visual you're referencing. There's no question what you should focus on at any given moment. This is even more important now with some YouTube views coming on TV where the screen is bigger, so you don't have people rubbing their eyes and cleaning their neck while watching your video. So make sure you have one primary focal point. And for shorts, it's slightly different, but same principle. Here's a guide for that. Anything around here is off limits. It's too far away from center focus, and it overlaps with the UI, the buttons on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Anything here is safe because where the eye naturally looks, your text hooks go here, you make more comment, your eyes go here, and your captions go here, right below. And again, if you want this template while you're editing or YouTube editors, that's also in YouTube, I mentioned earlier. The next tip is to remember the paradox of production. So few creators understand this and kills their growth. Simply put, the smaller you are, the more the production value matters. The bigger you are, the less it does. And people who say, oh, your camera, your gear doesn't matter, they're honestly naive. Yes, story is more important than that. But for new creators, your viewers are beyond impatient. Your production value, your prep, your first impression. So everything, set up some like scripts so you don't ramble. We'll talk about how to do that in a second. Or at least prep some bullet points. You know, people say, oh, it's inauthentic, overly art, whatever. It's not. It just means that you care. And maybe the next I show see your image, but you're the exception. And you don't even see told during your interview. But how his spontaneous live stream actually a lot of there's a lot. That's why I want these streams. People don't see the 15 second clip. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that goes into that just for that 15 seconds. Or even off the cuff comedy YouTubers like Life Coach Center, that she scripts her videos in advance. And a perfect example is her dollar store series. What's $2 you're picking up like basketball.
Like, this is only 79 cents. Come on, man. It's a dollar store. It's cheap stuff out of here. Oh my god, this is a dollar. Dang, that's so cheap. We'll walk to the wall.
That joke is scripted.
Actually, weeks before I went to the dollar store and looking at each product, understanding what I can do and how to make a joke around a specific word on that product and raise up the camera and then hopefully give a natural, effortless delivery when it comes to their shooting. So it takes some pre-production that I never really talked about.
I also said prepare video of Vogue 73 questions, which I had 32 million views. Took 7 attempts to film, even though it was all improv. Right now, flip. Right, let's say you do have a video audience. What do your viewers want to see? You, but raw, unedited. And I think one of the reasons why our behind-the-scenes videos in interviews took off, you'll rarely see them in unedited context like that. I mean, it's also why we love docu-series or even FaceTime, TikTok, celebrities, because I've seen them so overly produced everywhere. We want to see it all stripped away. And I actually asked Will Smith about this because he was in some of the biggest production ever, and now he's active on. So it's like, how can you share that video? But as a creator, you're not there, not yet. And to be honest, production value is just a fancy way of saying respect your viewers' eyes and ears. Only then will they respect their attention. The next tip is simplify your speech. All right, so when it comes to scripting, during my interview with MKHD, he showed me the video script and we talked about how he tended to be at a 6th grade speaking level, despite him talking about in-depth topics like tech. In fact, many other YouTube creators like my friend Tom Scott and so forth tend to hover around that 5th to 7th grade level. So for YouTube, you need to simplify how you talk without dumbing it down. That's the key, especially if you're making videos about popular problems, for example. So for that, I always try to follow this cheat sheet, which I call the 3 Bs. Basic, bold, brief. And you can probably tell me that level of iteration. So the first B stands for basic. Make sure you translate jargon into simple words like instead of leverage, say use. Instead of optimize, say perfect. Instead of competencies, say skills. The second thing is to be bold. Remove words from your speech that can undermine your authority that you like possibly, and might, I think. There's time and place for that, but most times just undermine your authority. Be more assertive. The third thing is be brief. And these are just rules of thumb, but become instinctual over time on scripting your video. So avoid more than 25 words in a sentence because you'll start to ramble. Avoid more than 3 sentences in a paragraph because you're jumbling a lot of thoughts into one section. My biggest technique by far. Avoid double description. Like, you need to say the room was clean and tidy. Just say the room was clean, you get a point, move on. Next tip is to own your off-camera craft. So there's 2 parts of being a YouTuber. Being good on camera by doing all the things we're talking about here. Improving your production, your speaking, your thumbnails, your editing. But second, the X factor of all of this is having a skill off camera. The more uncommon that skill or craft, the easier it is to honestly have a real career on YouTube. Now, I'll give you an extreme example of that followed by a more relatable. So the extreme but a great example of this is Matthew. Before he had millions of subscribers, people know that he was an auto cam who painted and wrapped hundreds of cars off camera. Before he ever did it on camera with hits like making a real life like clean or something about bandwagon.
Looking at larger creators, they all have their own unique value, and mine was being a car industry, like big average age in my industry was like 55. I was always the youngest person, so I thought there's probably a good idea that I'm one person that's really used to like a car, knows something about a car, and do something like that. So I realized that was like my advantage.
And if you look at videos now, clearly kept telling us about off camera with bigger and bigger products. Another example is Dr. Mike, who keeps being patient, even though he's well past him. I can't give up practicing clinical medicine because it makes me understand better the problems people have. It allows me to relate better to people, use better language where I can actually see what I want to understand what I'm saying. It just makes you just more valuable, but also happier. Even when the channel is not performing as well as you hope, going to the office and having someone tell you your notes are late or your patient had to take 5 minutes late to their appointment, that's valuable. And people will always belittle it. So valuable being able to see the exact outcome of your work right there in the moment. So valuable. It's what keeps me sharp. He's in the trenches. He's hearing about these problems from his patients. And that's part of the content idea that can help me more people. Or another example is Hayden Hillier Smith, who makes content about editing, and he's doing the same thing. Some of the podcasts with me, I still maintain the rights to still be talking about editing, so I make sure I'm still in the so I'm still very much taking on as many jobs as I can, as long as everything's balanced. I could go on and on. Creators like Dream work with another Minecraft creator, before 21 days being YouTuber himself. Nick Giovanni homes his cooking skills, before 21 days food channel, and Peter McKinnon was the king of photography before said this. My wife was always a huge advocate, still is, of practicing your craft. So if she sees me just pounding videos after videos after videos, she's like, when's the last time you took photos? Not for Instagram. It's like, you should not do that. Because as much as you're the teacher, and as much as you're the guy inspiring everyone else to get out there to do it, you still need to like follow the passion that got you here in the first place. And if you're not learning, you're unlearning. So you gotta make sure you keep your skills sharp. You know, I try to do the same as well off camera. I work with some creators of all different sizes, brands, executives bring me in, like this other week I work with LinkedIn co-founder Reed Hoffman. And when they hire me to come up with content on social media, it helps keep me sharper. No matter how big this channel grows, I like working with other people to understand it, or probably facing what content I make. Because all this stuff on camera, to be honest, the speaking, the editing, the packaging, that's a must. You need that to survive on YouTube. But it's stuff off camera that helps you thrive. It's the stuff that happens in Dr. Mike's office or Nick's kitchen or Matt's auto shop, and that's what gives them their edge and ideas. And sure, you can say, okay, John, yeah, I don't want to hone any off camera skills or these professions. I just want to be a pure entertainer like I should see Logan Paul and Chamberlain, to which I say good luck. Because sure, you may be part of the 0.01%, but it's popular from your personality alone. But it's much harder to have. And as Dr. Mike says, kids these days, when they're polled, they say their number one dream job is to be a YouTuber.
And I have to redirect them in that hope and say, hey, learn something, bring some value to YouTube. Otherwise, you probably won't get popular. Number one, because you won't have anything really to talk about. But even worse, you might get popular. And I'm like, wait, why is it worse if I get popular? Well, you get popular. You're probably gonna be popular for a short period of time, and at some point you'll fall off. And then you're gonna feel terrible about yourself. And you won't have a career not necessarily fall back on, but to say, well, I've learned this. This is where my value is. They'll say, make a comment and say, you have no value, and they say something really mean. But then if you look at time and say, well, what is my value? What am I bringing to the table? That's gonna be a demon that you're really gonna struggle with.
And what bar for Dr. Mike. All right, moving on. The next tip is earn the right to rebel. So this one has more to do with making money and brand deals, which I think is one of the biggest pitfalls for creators as they grow. And I want you to imagine for a second that a brand wants to do $25,000 maybe sponsor video. Here's the kicker. You barely have to mention brand product at all. And I know this makes no sense at all, but I already got Casey Neistat, he does this all the time. He's got Nike, J.Crew, or other brands that work with his videos. So how do you convince them to give him full creative control? And how can you do the same, or just get a little bit more control in your sponsored videos, even if you're a smaller creator? Well, it's a huge contrast to what creators normally do. They usually stick to a brand's talking points and script and a wiggle room, and typically the video underperforms as a result. But the key is what Casey did before pitching brands as well. Idea, and he earned what I call the right to rebel. And to do that, he started by creating free ads for Nike, and soon he got their executives' attention.
If you're not willing to do the work without getting paid 100 times, then chances are you're never going to find out to do the work and get paid for it. And that's how it's able to get the thumbs up to make account. That's how it's able to get the thumbs up to make the Mercedes campaign or the multimedia campaign.
That eventually led to a brand deal with Nike where they asked him to make 3 videos.
Make account for Nike. Yeah. I think what's underappreciated about that video is I deal with Nike made 3 videos for the fuel ban. And the first 2 videos had significantly more emphasis, significantly more budget. When it came time to make the 3rd video, I called Alex Lopez at Nike. I was like, I want to do this different. Something's way off the bus. I'm way different from what we initially scripted. I won't spend any more money. I can make something much better. And he was like, just like, don't screw me over. Don't leave me in the lurch. If you want to run wild with creative, go for it.
Video with Casey spending Nike's budget to fly all around the world with Nike fuel ban. It was his way of living their slogan, make it count. Now, had Casey pitched a crazy idea first, he probably would never have gotten the green light. As a creator, I've seen this firsthand too, as you work with more brands on a weekly basis. But can I say something more on the other side, the corporate side of all this? It's not just the manager or whoever you're talking to at the brand that's approved your idea for a sponsored video or a second. It's the boss, and their boss's boss. And everyone is honestly just cutting grass. Like, why so few big companies take big risks? Believe me, I worked at several of them, and how they don't believe it creative. A lot of them do. It's just that they don't want to fight. Like actually, like if something goes wrong with a video or it underperforms or wrong, they just want to justify why you took that risk, or at least explain the decision to their colleagues. And the best way to do that is then to show your past work. Like oh wow, this creator's video performed well for us, so that's why we get more leeway. So if you get them first, then you'll earn that right to rebel and create your idea is really where breakthrough comes. And the last tip is be more like Mozart. Now, before I explain what Mozart has to do with YouTube, it's probably the most personal of all the tips. I'm not sure one more story from Casey. I know I'm referencing a lot, but this one really stuck with me. See, for 800 days straight, Casey uploaded a vlog every single day, no matter what.
Knowing you have to post every day, like, did something to me, which was like, screw your writer's block. Like, it doesn't even happen. There were also days, many days. I had a dozen times over the course of the vlog where I would sit down to do the edit and I would have no audio because of my own not paying attention. So my phone not plugged in.
What do you do in those cases?
I can watch the videos, but I think I did like a lot of like music in the kitchen anyway. Right? I just recorded this audio. I don't have audio. Someone some text on the screen. And, like it's something fun like that.
Now compare that to today. Casey has only posted 7 videos in the last 365 days. So I had to ask him an ironic question. I asked him, is it harder to make videos now that you have more time? Yeah, harder. In other words, does Casey feel the math of Parkinson's law? The phenomenon where your work expands to fit the time that you give it. Which he said this. Do you feel like now you don't have a daily deadline once you now like your work time balloons if it
yeah, it's much harder now. Because I don't need to post it today. I post a video in 8 months. There's no fire. There's no rush.
I think that speaks to the importance of posting your work instead of spending time perfecting it. Even if you feel insecure about it, I got surprised when Casey.
I was insecure about that. And then sure enough, I realized like, no, a lot of people are tuning in because beyond the content, they sort of formed an interest in whatever it was I was sharing that day.
And when I heard Casey say that, it reminded me of my first year on YouTube where I got so in my head that I only uploaded 6 videos. And whenever I went to upload a video on my desktop, it would look like this. I finished the video and saved the file as final. And then I noticed that the color of the video looked off, so I upped the saturation and resaved it as final _ final. But then I realized the audio of the video could be clear, so then I tweaked it and resaved it as final. And I kept repeating this process until sometimes I honestly still didn't upload the video because it still wasn't good enough. But hearing that Casey kept posting even though he was insecure about his videos changed everything. And it really hit home when I realized that this trend exists throughout history. That a lot of great artists throughout time were as prolific as Casey, that he cared as much about quantity as quality. Even if you go back over 200 years to Mozart, because Mozart wasn't this automatic master taking machine that instruments seemed to be. Some of his early critics called the music far too noisy, but Mozart just kept putting out work and he always started composition before he died at age 35, which is far, far more than his peers who only averaged 150 compositions, despite them living much longer. In other words, Mozart made countless compositions that we now forgot to get a few masterpieces that we still remember. Or legendary artist Monet made 2,500 pieces of art. But here's the thing about Monet that just crushes my soul and reminds me of so many creators, including myself, because that number 2,500 should be way higher. But Monet was such a perfectionist that this one time he spent 3 years working on a set of new painting until at the last moment he noticed these slight imperfections in the corners of those paintings. So he took out a butcher knife and slashed through every single one of them because they weren't perfect enough for him. But curators and scholars today say that he destroyed over $3.4 million worth of art that night just because it wasn't perfect enough. Which got me thinking, how many of us are too much like Monet instead of Mozart or even Casey? How many of us slash through our videos instead of just shitting? And how many masterpieces have we unknowingly left on our floor because we got 2 in our heads? It's only once I switched my mindset from Monet to Mozart that I started to see a change in my career as a creator. Because after posting embarrassing 6 videos in my first year, we now uploaded over 270 videos and have somehow gotten over 340 million views. And we're getting guests on our show that I can't believe are coming out. And yes, we had tons of flops, more than ever, but I now realize that printing at your past work is proof of progress. And sometimes perfectionism is just procrastination in disguise. So next time you're working on your next video, be more like Mozart, not Monet. Put down your knife because every creator, every artist, even if you're as big as Cleo, Jimmy, or Casey, all of them feel some level of anxiety. But I hope no matter what, they keep creating, they keep putting stuff out there. Because the only thing worse than something imperfect is something that doesn't exist. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, doing the world, and I'll work with more videos. And I think that like this video that builds on a lot of how to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Can you convert the most recent audience profile document into essentially just like a one-page draft or one-page dossier that summarizes the key psychographic insights, key pain points, and basically ties the engagement strategies that you've listed to those, or rather groups them to those into constellations around pain points, etc. So I want the stars of these constellations to be just practical, like guidance or like decisions about what to do. Day to day, sort of like the laws of the channel. This is going to be a text-only summary, basically synthesizing everything that was generated in your report. You can include brand language as a part of it. I really just want to condense sort of like reference that summarizes the points from above. Either way is fine for question 3.
I packed 15 years of my YouTube experience into this one video.
Oh my god. The freaking jump scare. Yeah, bruh.
Okay, let's say our first tip is to use visual anchors. So here's to make creative videos that are way better off as articles or written posts on X or LinkedIn, period. And that's something I learned from my interview with one YouTube best storyteller, Johnny Harris. He said this, there's a million stories that should be reported on. My philosophy is that only 900 of them should be told as videos. And when I asked Johnny how he felt about ideas should be videos versus text, he said two words, visual anchors. And here's a great example of that. I don't focus on words, we're going to everyone decide what word I'm not powerful, and nobody's talking about. And don't worry, you don't have to find time to anchor. You can use the same format. That's one of the fastest growing videos right now.
You know what the video is? You don't have to have coffee. And I was telling you story about something saying, the moment you plot a napkin and draw a diagram, or show someone on a pause, and you see this, like, that's a video. Oh, that's interesting, that's zero.
So the visual anchors right now, that's imagine explaining that you're going to see the video, right? You have to, one, draw anything right now, you're going to, two, so that's it, we're uploading the video, we're working on this side. Go to Reddit, you have a before, and above compressed, you have a video, if not, you have to post for really not really time at all. And don't use your main website, find anchor videos. Like, measure the place where you sort of anchor videos for your niche, well, that's called, right, just know how to do it the right way. Figure it out. Go to Reddit, you have a before, and bring it. This is something that you can all the time when you make videos about starting at and first time you go to Stylized, make sure you filter by top and all time. So you see the best visual, which uploaded or 3,000 this way. Let's say 3 video later, you want a video about marketing and packaging, and it's so cool to see that it's starting one video. And if you're making videos, you really go at that same start every month to change all time to weekly, and you see all the visuals showing up over time. Like apps and higher designer, then uploading that week. And think about it, if you find a lot of visual anchors in this process, maybe that's just one more video. If you only find a few visual anchors, you're just like on short tutorial. And if you find none, then probably get out of the next one. So upload that way to script and we all do here. And also, you don't have to use Reddit, you can get Facebook group. You know, you have people posting about your niche, uploading videos at the top, so you know you can something that's already of interest. I just kind of Reddit first. I remember I'm already trying to people BuzzFeed. I'm gonna get a holiday. Why would I really do that? When you post it on Monday, it's on BuzzFeed on Tuesday, then it's on Monday, and it shows on Facebook. There were not, but sure, so research visual anchors on it. The next tip is to make your intros. On YouTube, create videos killed by one intros all the time. So remember doing RAINY. Now, then you can check all the 5 boxes and make them popular. Now, show you how to do it with examples. I'm showing you 7% and 60%. So our R and 4 results. Upfront, your video, that's use the result you will get if you watch your video. Where's your point? But these, those questions your answer. How to say, and make sure you can figure out you watch. Now, I'll show you an example of time that for both unscripted and scripted videos you're on. A, example that best object. Call it out before you're doing anything. You say a sharper error or you don't option error. And I'm doing yes, on high alert. Like you say R, the result you're doing intro, but you're already telling yes, but subconscious, conscious, and you do this. I stand for example for long form intro, for 45 seconds. Let's go over the short form and example Y. Now, like why do you do the right now? You're trying to change something new in this video, right? And why example Y? You why do you deliver this message? Oh, no, you need to change who you are for your video. And you have to hide the right part out. So here's your example how you do that. One unscripted video, vlog, now street interviews, and another for scripted. The Asian version all programmed.
Oh my god.
Videos, you don't have to work on them as well. If I say, so I can video, and live video. So let's talk about the intro and unscripted video.
Numbers, I, partnerships, the fastest growing YouTuber. Anything and me, and every speaker. You know?
So how do you make an intro? I mean, well, before every single one, how long you're doing it. For the art, the result, by the way, we're showing you that you watch. Find out why live coaching is easier ever. Let the time ever. That's why I do well. There's no way to get the result. And immediately after the result is the next time you can make it. There's no way that live coaching actually follows you. But you have to now it, you show guys every action you learn about you. The I instant entire last seconds follow for that. First, the line out and all the video came out in time. I have YouTube, I really talk about it full. To Instagram for you. Next channel. And just said, on the line. You use a unique and really yourself experience. Answer that why you. Question. Here's two examples. For 2 years, share this. Feedback. Sure, not a doctor. So how do you answer that question? Well, the only we have to choose for and emphasize that in intro title. If you're being your perspective, there's many other true videos out. And for example, that's crazy about video about video about. And that's interesting. But you want to you have a example really small. And then we have to obviously treat and make it so that if photo is so well posed, you can't use it. Okay, but I'm all around it. You tell you trying to frame the shot problem. The second context. So 2 years on the context where it's not my experience. And then put it on say, please replace the person in this email with me and keep their wardrobe and vehicle description the same. And then this is great. You get these things. You can use it now. I'll show you how powerful these tools are. Especially with 5 Cs. I'll do like echo question and if it's live, it's the point is that even if you say this now and get the original that, I'm just going to 5 Cs. I show you about 90 more. I know you have that energy. I know how to do this. The bottom is you need all 5 Cs to find out more. The next is test macro and so you can watch the technical. There's other ways you can do it. Maybe you show those variations in different settings. After days, it's like one day. Most 5, but you use this tool and we're good. So I mean, a lot of AI has that before, and slowly, I tried to place myself. I really want to replace myself. I don't know, a million AI hours I've watched or used AI, they don't replace yourself. So they'll throw the replacers and they'll replace. That replacement. And then like on this red link, and then I was like, lovely, but I'm just like, okay, so that means for you, but you're going to this figure. All right. Welcome, folks. I've seen obviously. Really creative way to few others are. They're going to keep down the process on the perspective. Step 1 is always on the macro big changes on the angle of the shot. Space is angle clothing bond. Step 2, you like to do slide that one. Step 3, you can make micro changes to make something for sure. For very small. Step 4, typically you need to that's all part of it. One thing I'm saying is first, macro variation, text, shirt, composition, and how you select that. One, you need micro changes just the text. Everything else is the same. A lot of times you create one step for months, but I don't have too much time to do that. So just try to do 2 as squeeze much as you first macro changes, then micro changes, and one the method is fix your first frame. So also we cover now is one more deal. This is really short. Your first frame, your short, and that's what you want. And your first frame is literally what is 0 seconds. Your short, it takes time to reveal all of it. And he is make sure he said it. Expectation and potential of okay, I just want to use when you are asking on the street, recommend tools and we go and go for and actually design and actually for the basis of this and having the first frame to for my short frame for do for you leaders. And I like to write I don't choose my website ideas. And everyone says we don't know yet. Perfect is doesn't mean perfect. There's something and it's like you want to work with people so quickly and so rapid. So I need to fix your first frame immediately and physically perfect helping out. And just helping out how powerful your first frame is. Like knowing how powerful you see on the but you'll actually make more people see while you're just listening to the podcast. Like you know. Not much. It's just all you have to do is look at the camera and go to and what I like what you're doing, so basically it's so above the line channel audience, and things happen something. For example, the topic format package, you say, and that's what talk about doing, and the outlier, the more you take notes. In fact, I have to be talking outliers like these. Video and include them. You can do it. I don't know how you say outliers. Let's talk about that video, the outlier versus series. How you realize how you do that, and then I don't know. So the versus the biggest, most of us do it. Also, but it's just like people across every corner of YouTube channels, everyone's doing it. Something cheap, something expensive. Usually about testing has been done. You know, the single problem is like I'm trying to do marketing, using amount of how always like the free time you have to run out things out to the niche section. That's like one level. That's one like that. So and you'll do this short changes on the video to start angle and that's the one to feedback. And it's not only things people in the actual matter. They do it. And profit. They try to part of the video and the thing. Oh my god, so what? You're right more. You saw that shortly about this. And then again, this time you're so you know how say your own outliers. And actually another point does it. It's better to talk about right. So the question, you know, what if I say that videos? I don't know. Could I make again? So play series. I'm just going to create for us. We can say video 4 times. Probably go 5 6 times. Each one is it's like it's 7 4 days. The video you go to the now like how will I find outlier? Well, that's about that here. That's what I'm with you. Find outlier. You're going to do is it. One do that. So forward to later. And go to search filters. And so like you have video and you can see turn on the to show you the videos that have the most views. And scroll to the top videos and click one more time to subscribe to the channel. Upload it. one method. 2 is the core method. And 3 is hold your thoughts. Think about the method, but that one you have to your thought. Anyways, you know, that's the only final because of the navigation. Enthusiastic about like Casey's content when he does I start all the way with the we'll end the video. I'll see what 54 videos. I'll share this. I want to share 2 seconds video on creator. Share this. And say I love. Just look at the frame alone. I'm sorry. I have 54 videos. I'm going to put my okay. Just keep going on. Now, it comes to this, I'll be like your videos as well. Contrast, here's what you're going to do. If I see the version of the bottom right, you really zoom in and everything else out. But when you do there's no question which focus on. It's even more important now. Some of you do TV, swing it there. You don't have to learn and from the next one. Make sure one primary focal. And of course, it's slightly different. The same as one. Here's that. Anything around here is offense. Too far away. Focus and open. You're correct. So everything like that's like switching up my one. It's not just me here. And maybe that's just you. But you can see.
And hopefully give a natural catalyst delivery when it comes to the action. So takes some pre-production. I never really talked about.
Start by creating free ads soon after you get paid.
If you're not willing to do work, not getting paid 100 times, then chances are you're not going to do what you get paid for. And that's how it's into, you're going to make it count. That's how you're going to make the campaign work.
So you want to get the maximum value possible. This is one way to show you life. You want to do it in a termistic way. What you do is you basically stay on the bleeding edge of trends and you say, technology, design, art, thinking, you come do this stuff. You basically wait for your moment, something which will really skill set. You would need more. You would build your brand time on Twitter or YouTube, whether it was for you, you name yourself, you get this process. And then when the time moves in an opportunity, you do so, leverage the maximum way possible. Maximum way you have people working for you, you need funding, you have capital, you need to both you need to code, you need to. So you want to get the maximum value possible. This is one way to
Why is it so good that we say, oh, maybe
The following content is
provided under Creative Commons license. Your support will help MSU open source. Anything about high quality education resources for free. To make a donation or view additional materials, remember
You're at a party. Which one's worse, wine or Diet Coke?
Have you ever taken a cannabis shot?
Most fat burners and women's people struggle with. They cannot cheap ingredients or pumpkin full of and regulars. We wake up wrong. The reason why I don't know which I'm talking about people like Rory, the good ones like everything, the shopping source. Now, in the night, never get everything. The real wealth is about what you can see. It's about what's happening behind the scenes. The smart investments, the business and the long-term thinking. Most people never know this. Giving that high job, one life and formula. And working in finance over 9 years, I learned how to actually build wealth. As a business, I'm trying to say that quite a lot of people live like most people think they're rich and actually pretty rich. That's no one they will make everything. Quite a lot of people are lazy in the best possible way. They're not trying to remember the money they invest. They have to balance once and again. eat up their pay increase. So when you get a pay rise, you have 20 small percent of that money onto yourself. If you make 200 monthly, you might put one small thing in your life. The range of tools building tools, you can talk about it. Beyond just basically equal reverse. Because every last upgrade is basically permanent difference. So yeah, you spend more is really hard to go back. So avoid that trap altogether. And understand that they don't react, they respond. Anytime they get loads of high-flying methods, heavy into businesses, and people way more than you for it. They have to spend life required taking big risks. Now, it's something that every other. But then there were quite a lot of people who believe that this hands out when you do. It is just look at the big picture, cut unnecessary expenses, and some things to pick up underlying assets while everyone else is in the market. So quite a lot of people have flexibility, mentally, emotionally, and financially to pivot when needed because they want in it to progress. They are able to gain the headspace and ability to come out even stronger or weaker than the quite a lot of people don't react, they change response. And that is a certain habit.
You go to each other, it's a line, give us a white before, and everyone say how. What do you think about it? What do you think about it?
The thing I tend to make my reasons as students, but usually meaning ahead of someone, a meaning in wait for someone to be fulfilled by someone. That this contributes most than anything else under equal other circumstances for survival.
Meaning is the most important thing in our lives.
Certainly because what I call a will to meaning, the wish to find and to fulfill meaning, is the basic motivation in human beings.
Well, this certainly runs counter to much of the determinist notions that are being bandied around these days. Man is a machine, man is a computer, man is a product of instincts.
Man is something like a rat in experiments, psychological experiments. Of course, you're right, but not only against the so-called deterministic concepts of man, but also regarding the motivational theories of certain psychotherapeutic systems.
Let's talk for a minute about logotherapy, which arose out of this notion of search for meaning.
Logotherapy is one among other types of psychotherapy, is, we may say, a meaning-centered psychotherapy. Inasmuch particularly as logotherapy sees you, a human being, not predominantly determined, not to say dominated by the will to pleasure, as you were mentioning, nor by the will to power along the lines of Adlerian teachings, but basically, fundamentally, by a will to meaning. That is to say, the desire, the impulse to find and discover in life, or better to say, each life situation, concrete life situation confronting someone, the desire to find a meaning therein and to go on to fulfill it.
I was very intrigued. One of the most surprising things I've read recently was that you said that when you talk to European students, only 40% said they had suffered this sort of inner void, and yet 81% of American students experience the same thing.
Well,
we think of it just the opposite. We think of the Europeans as being buried under this existential dread and sense of purposelessness, and Americans being optimistic and upbeat.
However it might be, whether the ones or the others are suffering more or less respectively from this existential vacuum. The ones who seem to suffer less should not look at the others with contempt, but look at the others with compassion, and look for anything possible to help the others.
Now this void manifests itself as
In apathy, in boredom, lack of initiative, lack of interest in the world, or initiative in changing something within the world for the better. This frustration is a proof of the existence of a will to meaning. Unless we were imbued by will to meaning, by the wish to find meaning and discover and fulfill meaning in life, we never would be able to experience it in a void. So this is in a way also something positive.
Now you listed 3 types of values: creative values, experiential values, and attitudinal values.
And you may find a meaning. The average man, the man on the street or the woman on the street, may find a meaning day by day in doing a deed, in creating a work. And
that's the creative.
And in experiencing something, the beauty, the truth as a researcher, or the good in dealing with people as a teacher or whatever.
There's an extraordinary moment in Man's Search for Meaning when you talk about being in one of the Nazi camps, and all of you going out to look at a sunset. Is that
exactly? This is the paradigm of experiential values, finding a meaning in experiencing, without doing anything, without achieving or accomplishing anything, but just in giving oneself the immediate experience of something, say, beautiful going on in the world. This is the second avenue. But there's also another aspect of experiential values. Excuse me, not only experiencing something, but also experiencing someone. More than that, experiencing another human being in his or her very uniqueness. And it is the main attribute of a human being that he is a person in contrast to any animal. He is a person. A person is always something absolutely unique, irrepeatable in the evolution of the cosmos, as it were, incomparable with any other human being. And this uniqueness can be got hold of solely by a loving person, because he not only sees the essence, but also the potentials in the beloved person. Thereby, as I put it before, promoting him, alleviating him to reach out to attain this potential and to fulfill and thereby actualize also himself, but not by reaching self-actualization. It's nonsense. Self-actualization can only fall into your lap automatically once that you have fulfilled a concrete meaning, done the best of the situation. Then you actualize yourself as a byproduct.
Let's talk about the third set of values, which is the attitudinal, the idea of choosing how to respond to suffering.
Choosing the attitude.
Yes.
If there's no possibility in a given situation to fulfill the meaning of the situation by giving oneself to the experience of beauty and so forth, nor to, if you have lost the capability to do your job, to do your work, even then there is an ultimate possibility to find and fulfill meaning. Not only the ultimate, it is even the potential to fulfill the deepest meaning, to attain the highest values. By your approach to the situation, a tragic or triste situation confronting you.
You said that in part of the initial shock of being put in a death camp was ultimately an acceptance that we knew we had nothing to lose except our ridiculously naked lives. Is that the situation that they're in?
In a way.
Is this when you make the choice of how you're going to, your last value choice is how to react to the situation?
You stood there naked, with nothing you could have had, But all the more what counted and mattered was what you were being rather than having, possessing anything, or the being. So what counted was what you make out of the situation, with what attitude you adopt in the situation. And there's a multitude, a wealth of possible attitudes how to approach it. So you have to decide.
The ultimate, I would take it, attitudinal value challenge that we all share is how we're going to face death. How do you prepare people for that? How do you prepare yourself for that?
I couldn't prepare anyone else unless I would have prepared myself. Because if you are a psychiatrist, your patients feel exactly whether or not you are really convinced of what you are teaching and telling them. Now, I'm convinced that in contrast to the usual aspect, or the sound aspect to life, and more specifically to the past, to life's transitoriness, and this includes that each of us are approaching death. In contrast to that, I maintain that in the past, nothing is lost, but right on the contrary, everything is stored forever. It is not annihilated by transitoriness, but on the contrary, it is becoming preserved forever. Something you have done can never be undone. Something you have experienced, something you have even experienced in a negative sense, going through suffering. And if you have, for instance, you have suffered, gone through this suffering, honestly, courageously, and with dignity, who in the world, what in the world can deny, can annihilate this? What you have done has been done forever, in both ways, in a negative as in a positive way. It cannot be undone. And the past is a storehouse of what you have done, what you have experienced, what you have gone through, and what you have done out of all the negative and tragic aspects as even encountered within your life.
I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you all for watching.
Gotcha.